Good, my Lon Reacts family are back with another NFL reaction video. Today we're checking out what it is like getting traded in the NFL. And of course, you guys know I like getting some more context and building a bit of a deeper understanding of the NFL. So yeah, man, keep throwing those recommendations. If I don't see it in the comments, make sure you guys are dropping it on Patreon or drop me a message on PayPal. You know, that's the quickest way to guarantee that I see it and react. But yeah, if you're new to the channel or if you like these sort of reaction videos, make sure you guys are hitting the like button and smashing that subscribe button, man. Let's get to 10K by May. That's the goal. Ambitious, I know.
Even though society likes to place NFL players on a pedestal, they're still just normal people, like the rest of us. Except for the world-class athlete part, of course. They still have feelings, and there's much more to what they do than simply cashing paychecks and trying to win ball games. These players share a brotherhood with their teammates, as they spend almost more time with them than their actual families during the season. As a result, when a player gets traded from a team, it can be extremely difficult for them to say goodbye to those teammates who have become like brothers to them. It's also tough on their actual families, as their lives can be uprooted as well if their dad or significant other is traded.
That's true. That's true. Although I know which one I would prefer, as in having that option or having to work like the rest of us regular folks.
Though people love to say football is just a business and trades are an integral part of that, there is way more to it than that. So we're going to take an in-depth look at the process of NFL trades.
Let's do it. Have you guys hit that subscribe?
Breaking the news. Let's start out by focusing on how players find out they've been traded. Typically, once a team agrees to trade one of their players, he will then be called into the GM or head coach's office if he's in the team's facility at the time of the trade. Being called in for one of these meetings can feel like being called into the principal's office at school growing up. The player immediately thinks of everything they've done wrong recently, and it's an all-around nerve-wracking experience. They don't know whether they're being disciplined or sent to another city. Once the GM or coach tells the player he's been traded, that player's world may be instantly turned upside down. In person. HBO's Hard Knocks with the Miami Dolphins in 2012 showed how shocking this moment can be for a player, as Vontae Davis was sent to the Colts. His face...
Hey, maybe I need to watch this video. Maybe I need to watch this video. What's it called?
Person. HBO's
Hard Knocks, training camp with the Miami Dolphins. Yeah, maybe I need to watch this video. But yeah, I could imagine if if you are being traded and you have no idea, and then you just get called into the GM's office one day, and he's like, "Yeah, you're going to this city, this state." Especially if you haven't prepared for that eventuality, that must feel crazy. That must feel pretty hard, to be honest.
Knox with the Miami Dolphins in 2012 showed how shocking this moment can be for a player, as Vontae Davis was sent to the Colts. His facial expressions spoke volumes, as did his immediate response of,
"I want to call my grandma."
It was clear he was struggling to process the sudden life-changing news. Through the phone. Other times the player isn't at the facility when the trade goes down, so they're told through a phone call. This happened to Jared Goff this past offseason when the Rams shipped him to Detroit. Sean McVay called to tell him, and Goff was so taken aback that he hung up on his then former coach. Again, showing these athletes have feelings and how traumatic these trades can be. On social media.
My question is, do you have no say in these trades? You know, say they say, "Oh, we're trading you from the Rams to the Colts." Can a player say, "No, I'm not doing it"? Is it obligatory? You know, is there's no option in that, right? Which I assume is the case, and if so, that's completely different to how it works for soccer, which is crazy, interesting.
Once a player finds out about a trade, the public is usually next, thanks to social media. While trades are typically reported on Twitter by NFL insiders, such as Adam Schefter or Ian Rappaport, sometimes the news can break on Twitter in a different way. For example, when Joe Schobert was traded from the Jags to the Steelers prior to this season, his wife was actually the one to let the world know, as she sent out a tweet saying, "Yins are going to love this." There weren't any rumors about the trade at all prior to her tweet. Just as regular fans find out about these moves on social media, NFL players can find themselves in the same boat, even if it involves one of their best friends, which is exactly what happened to Deshaun Watson when the Texans traded away his good friend DeAndre Hopkins to the Cardinals. Rationalizing these trades. As talked about earlier, almost every transaction in the NFL is justified by the saying, it's just a business. While some players are well aware of this, others experience rude awakenings by thinking trades won't involve them. During the 2019 season, Jamal Adams told the Jets he didn't want to be traded, but they still fielded calls for him anyway. Adams eventually found out about this and was infuriated. He was so outraged that he ended up demanding a trade the following offseason.
Okay, so that kind of answered my question. They have no real say in it. You can obviously put forward your opinion, state the fact that you don't want to go. It's not something that you want to explore. And then ultimately it's up to the team whether they want to put you on the market or not. Obviously I say market, I know it's not a market like that. It's just, an agreement with another club. So what he did mention though is the player can also put in a request to be traded. So say for example I'm playing for the Rams and I want to be traded. I say, okay, next season I want to put a request in to be traded. Do the club have an obligation to fulfill that, or can they say, nope, you're on our books for 4 years. We don't want to lose you just now. And is that also how it could work? Obviously, I understand if a player puts in a request, it's probably in the interest of the club to let them go because you want someone that's fully committed and dedicated to your team. So I get that, but I'm just curious. Let me know.
He eventually got his wish as he became a Seahawk. His initial desire was given zero weight in the Jets' eyes, even though he was arguably the franchise's best player at the time. Just goes to show you how, when it comes to trades, the organization will do whatever they want.
It's brutal.
If the trade involves big names, they will then almost always hold an introductory press conference for the newly acquired player or players. These typically occur almost immediately after the player lands in their new cities. Instead of letting them settle and gather their bearings, the team is focused on PR and selling these trades to the public. Not always just a business.
Okay.
As much as NFL front offices are supposed to be extremely professional and leave out all personal agendas, that is actually not always the case. Just like these players are human, so are the team executives. There are times where these execs let their personal grievances with a player cloud their judgment and ultimately influence their decision-making. Take the DeAndre Hopkins trade, for example. Any casual football fan knew Houston got absolutely fleeced by Arizona when they gave up D-Hop and a 4th-round draft pick in the 2020 NFL Draft in exchange for David Johnson, a 2nd-round pick in the 2020 Draft, and a 4th-round pick in the 2021 Draft. There was no need to wait for expert grades and articles hidden behind paywalls or to see the results on the field. That was clearly an absurd trade involving one of the best wide receivers in the game. So, why did it happen?
Tell me.
Hopkins and then Texans coach and GM Bill O'Brien had a falling out. So O'Brien shipped him away for pennies on the dollar. O'Brien was fired from both roles not long after, when the Texans started out the next season 0-4. Another recent example involves a different star wideout, Odell Beckham Jr. When OBJ was traded from the Giants to the Browns, he said, "This wasn't no business move. This was personal. They thought they'd send me here to die." OBJ was convinced the Giants went out of their way to make a trade involving somewhere he wouldn't want to go. Kind of a ricochet shot for Cleveland by OBJ. But who could blame him when the Browns hadn't made the playoffs in almost 2 decades at the time? Mutual benefit. While we have almost...
That's tough. That's tough that a club can do that because they got a personal vendetta against you. Probably you might have come out in the media, said something that they don't like, and they have it in for you from there. In OBJ's case, was he did he prevail? Did he do well at the Browns? Let me know.
Exclusively focused on the negatives involving trades. Not all trades are bad for players. Sometimes a player wants to be traded for whatever reason, whether it's that they want to be paid more, play more, or just don't like the organization anymore.
Yeah, of course.
When a player gets their wish granted, it can be a blessing. Randy Moss spent the 2006 season with the Raiders, where he only had 553 receiving yards for 3 touchdowns as the team went 2-14. He was then traded to New England, where he shattered records, racking up 1,493 receiving yards and 23 touchdowns, as the Pats went 16-0 in the regular season. Moss's career was revived thanks to this trade. More recently, Stephon Gilmore wanted out in New England. Instead of just releasing him,
that's Brady, right?
Trade. More recently, Stephon Gilmore wanted out in New England. Instead of just releasing him or shipping him to an undesired city, the Pats traded him to the Panthers. Gilmore is from South Carolina and played college ball for the Gamecocks, so the trade was like a homecoming for the star corner. And the Pats at least got something in return in the form of a future draft pick. Trades are part of the job these players signed up for. They know they can be traded, cut, or injured at any moment, regardless of their star status. But that doesn't make the process any easier on them. Because at the end of the day, these players have feelings and families, just like anyone in any profession.
Oh, that was a good breakdown, I ain't gonna lie. I like that video. Very informative. Very yeah, I feel like I've got good knowledge now. I like the sound of this title. I might add that to my watch later. Yeah, this was a cool video. I like that. You guys let me know what other videos I need to be checking out, what else I should, what else I need to know, whether it's information about being traded, whether it's, answers to the questions and discussions that I've raised. But yeah, this was very informative. Like, comment, subscribe, let me know your thoughts, and I'll see you on the next one.